Anyway, half-backs Tony Chappell and Kevin James, and forwards Justin Maitland, Paul Cooper, Paul Sankey, Darryl Jackson, Ian Greenwood and Paul McDermott. Substitutes Dwayne Hart and John Nicholson. The referee this afternoon, Mr Nicholson from Myer House in Cumbria, and his substitutes Mr Beach and Mr Owens. And the mascot this afternoon, ball going down, Darren Appleby almost spilling it, but gets the ball out to Steve Hall. And really, I think, Darryl, this afternoon we should be looking for a number of points from Keighley, but this Nottingham side is completely different to that which we saw down at the Harvey Haddon Stadium in Nottingham only a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a completely different side, John, and like we heard earlier, they've got a lot of new signings. I think they'll put the effort in today, certainly defensively, I hope so anyway. But I think if Keighley stick to it, they should put the points up in the second half when they tire.
Thanks very much, and of course we just saw that ball put into touch by John Walker in the unaccustomed position this afternoon of full-back, as Joe Grimmer takes the ball in, turns as he gets tackled, but gets a good 12 metres into the Nottingham half. Looked a bit forward there, but Mr Nicholson missed that forward pass to Carlton Farrell, and he gets within 15 metres of the Nottingham line as Moses waits for the ball onto Appleby on the 10-metre line. Ball going across field there. Greg Keighley looks to offload. He's still going forward though, is Greg, turning the tackle as he does so. 5 metres now from the Nottingham line. Andy Ayres going for the gap. He sees it and he's under the post for the first try. 1 minute 30 seconds game. And Darryl, I think you've already spotted a deficiency in the Nottingham defence there.
Yeah, number 8, he's missed 3 tackles so far, John, and the game's running minutes old.
Well, there we go, that's the number 8 Nottingham, Justin Maitland, according to our sheet and according to the public address prior to the game starting. He's one of the new signings by Nottingham. He's an Australian. It just goes to show they're not all good at come from Australia. But certainly that early points on the board, 4 already for Keighley. Let's hope, from a Keighley point of view anyway, that it shows a landslide in points and a thoroughly justified victory at the end of the game. But only a minute and a half into the game, as John Vazilou lines up now, Keighley do need to. And John gets out between the posts, so that's 6-0 already. And say Keighley do, Darryl, need to keep to the game plan, don't they? They can't afford, they've got to be thoroughly professional today and really go for this kill for the points at the end of the season.
They certainly have, they've got to go. The referee's calling Joe Grimmer out, and I don't know who else he's calling out. He's calling 2 of them out for a talk here, number 10s. Touch judge has seen something. But Keighley have got to stick to the game plan and keep getting the points. Stick at it and not try and score from 70 yards. Stick to the game plan and they'll win the war line.
Yeah, touch and pass is not the name of the game today. It's rugby, it's 13 aside. And Mr Nicholson already, as Darryl said, having a word with Joe Grimmer and Paul Sankey for something which he saw, or the touch should saw. And that goal taken there again by Appleby. It's Wayne Race for Keighley, looking and getting beyond that 20-metre line. Moses acting half onto Hall. Hall completely evades that first tackle by the second row Ian Greenwood, who comes back and has a second go, and again pushing Hall down in the tackle as Greg Keighley now looks to the halfway line. 5 metres short though. Moses acting half. Ball down to Johnny Walker. He puts this ball high downtown to the bottom corner, tests the full-back, and Andy Ayres picks up, almost puts Carlton Farrell in the clear, but he was tackled as he received the ball, and that's a knock-on. A knock-on there, the Nottingham player actually just striking at the ball as it was not played particularly well, and not allowing the Keighley man to get there to it, the resultant being a knock-on. So with a scrum 10 metres or so from the Nottingham line, it's their feed, and it's out their side, just slipping behind the back of the scrum there on the wet turf. Steve Hall it was doing the tackling. Keighley up very, very quickly there. Martin Wood, though, preventing the man from getting more than a metre from the point of the tackle. Ian Gately this time, round the neck. Mr. Nicholson says so. And it certainly was round the neck area. The man actually trying to get underneath the tackle, but that's no excuse. It's reckless get daddle or whatever we call it. That's the rule, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes any contact at all with the head. The referee is quite entitled to give a penalty.
But that's a very bad penalty taken there. And John Basilou coming across the face of play. He's got the ball in the centre of the field where it really matters, because Keighley have now got the numbers left and right. They can take the options which way they like as Ian Gately drives in and gets away. And very weak tackling there by Nottingham, allowing Ian Gately at least 10 yards further forward than would have normally expected to get. Now it's Joe Grimmer. And these forwards of Keighley, if they do the business in the first 10 or 15 minutes, Daryl, there's really could be some points on the board at the end of the game as Ayres goes round, puts Martin Wood into a gap.
Yes, they're taking him on down the middle, and Nottingham's unfortunately are giving way. They should be making the tackles that they're not.
Moses then out to Gately. Gately ducks in, and it's Carlton Farrell again looks to get through, but there's a penalty. A penalty there, Daryl. Difficult. I'm sure the referee says he's pulling, but you're going to tell us what it was for.
Yeah, he tackled him before he had the ball. He was out of Carlton before he had the ball. Stopped him getting it on the run. That's what he's giving for.
So then Mr. Nicholson from Meyer House in Cumbria awards the penalty, and John Basilou, fancying his chances of increasing his lead in the Rugby League point scoring table, has opted to take this kick. It's some 9 metres in from the touchline side and just over 20 metres out from the try line, but the distance to the post somewhat different. Basilou then, the crowd behind quiet, and that's a good indication that the ball was not going through the posts, and the touch judges just confirm that. So 7 minutes into the game then, still the score remains at 6-0 to Keighley. That ball going into touch. Darren Appleby just telling Wayne Race it was his ball. For the ball gone into touch, 89 metres into the Keighley half. It's the Appleby to feed this scrum for Keighley. Just short of a second row, Ian Gately arrives. Ball in and lost, but it never went in, said Mr. Nicholson. And that came out eventually to Keighley, but certainly not a clean hook as Johnny Walker joins the line from the full-back position, gets to within a couple of yards of the halfway line. Andy Ayres going on his own at acting half, and the referee there pulling the stand off. Tony Chappell out, and in fact another 10. My words, that's a long 10 metres. Daryl, it's almost 20.
It all depends where the player was when he spoke, John.
That's fine. And again, that's possibly a decision that many people on the terraces would question or wonder about, because they usually expect the referee to take the play another 10, and as Darryl says, it depends where he was when he said what he said. And he was obviously a long way towards his own post. John Basilou then, with his third attempt. And that looks good. The flash of the camera behind the post tells it all, so that's 8 points to 2. 9 minutes into the game. And I often wonder, Darryl, we've said before, when teams like Nottingham and the likes of Chorley come along, they bring very, very few spectators, and certainly The general rugby watching public of Keighley, or any other town for that matter, they're not really an attractive fixture to come and watch. I don't think many people want to come and watch a tirade of points being scored so much as a good competitive game, do they?
That's right, John. They want to watch. They don't like to see Keighley win. Certainly Keighley spectators, but they don't want to see him winning with 30, 40, 50 points. They'd rather see a good game and Keighley just snatch it at the end. I think keeps them interested.
That's right. But Keighley then gets their ball out there to Martin Wood. He's got Moses in support. Unable to release that ball. The crowd over the far side thinking he should have done, but he had difficulty as Grimmer now coming down this Keighley slope. Gets a couple of 2 or 3 metres inside that 20 area onto Andy Ayres. Martin Wood, Darren Appleby having to go up in the air for that ball. Back to Woods as Woods comes across the field. Again it's John Walker, and Keighley just lost the direction initially, but he's settling it down there now, 20 metres from the line. Moses on to Appleby. Appleby chips the ball through for the chase, but there's going to be no chasers get to that one. It's way in front. Neither Phil Ball nor Wayne Race able to get anywhere near that one, and so it'll be a restart with a tap on the 20-metre line to Nottingham, who'll face a long hard haul up the slope here at Cougar Park. And not only that, I think as well it looks as though they may well be facing the wind, although the flags have dropped somewhat on the post at the top end of the ground. First time we've seen the number 5, a Kiwi, in possession. That's a Kiwi then in the centre of the field. Plenty of numbers over there for Nottingham. Just getting into the Keighley half of the field as the last tackle's indicated by Mr. Nicholson. Ball going back for the standoff to put the ball low down into the Keighley area. John Basilou just uses the side of his boots to control the ball, gets away from the first tackle and goes through, jinking to the right and then to the left. It gets back almost to 7 or 8 yards from the halfway line, and in fact Nottingham penalised and taken back a further 10. And they may got some new players, Darrell, but they haven't got a right lot of discipline this afternoon, have they? No,
they're lacking on discipline. Certainly this talking back silly, 2 silly penalties is them. You can't afford to give them away.
So we got John Walker then just going to put this ball into the far touchline side, over the top of the bar, and a couple of metres inside that 20 area. Ball on quickly there, but Paul Moses didn't take it. Greg Harley gets it back to him, plays it back to Harley again, run round with Moses, brings on Grimmer. Grimmer almost bursting through those tackles again. He's held 9 metres short. Moses, Carlton Farrell going in, and Carlton Farrell, the power and the speed of Carlton Farrell. Plays like a second row man in the centre position, gets the point for Keighley, just a metre to the left of the post there, Darrell, and really that was just wasn't it?
Tackle Joe, and once Carlton quick play the ball, Carlton then pick him up just off the play the ball, and the men on the back. Good try.
That try then coming 13 minutes into the game.
Did you see foul then? He was running on the halfway line. He was down and ready to go. Yeah, it's young Stevenson, I know.
And there he goes, 2 more for John Basilou and for Keighley. We just said 14 minutes now on the clock as Mr. Nicholson makes the way back to the halfway line considerable time before the Nottingham lads get there. They look at the scoreboard, they can see it from where they're playing. It reads 14 to Keighley without reply to Nottingham at the moment. Again, a high ball bouncing as Ian Gately takes it Darren Appleby not able to, but this is Steve Hall running through the centre. That's got to be high. Referee agrees with us. It's the second row there, Daryl Jackson, and he's just going to have a word with Mr. Jackson, is Mr. Nicholson, and tell him leave it out or sample the bath water early whilst it's still warm. Steve Hall just receiving the attention of the physio. He's all right though. As John Walker puts that ball, that's a tremendous touch finder from John Walker. Using the wind to great advantage as Moses plays that ball now. Greg Keighley driving in. 20 metres from the line. Keighley players almost not arriving. The ball taken so quickly. A nice slip pass there by Ian Gately to Andy Ayres, and again it's another penalty. It's a penalty again. I didn't particularly see what that was for, Daryl, and see you're shaking your head, but I'm sure you can advise us.
It looked like it's throwing him after the tackle. I couldn't weigh that up. I thought he might have done it for pinch-hit ball, but same decision.
So there we go. The referee has mystified the referee. Not unusual. But one thing for sure, it gives John Basilou the opportunity of putting more points on that Keighley scoreline some 16 minutes into the game. Side foot onto the bowling green, but via the centre of the post. That's two more for Keighley. And this crowd very, very quiet at the moment. As I was saying earlier, they will be quite happy to see the points being scored from flowing movements, not rather than from tries, but rather from penalty goals. And it's Nottingham already making a substitution. Looks like it's the blindside prop for Sankey leaving the field. And number 15, John Nicholson, takes his place. Well, according to the PA, it's number 12 that's left the field, Ian Greenwood. Certainly looked to have a 10, but no 10's still there, in fact, on the field, just taking part in that tackle. These numbers not particularly easy to see with the purple surrounding the black on the green ground. As Greg Keighley comes in, we're just trying to sort out whether in fact it was Greenwood who left. As Moses gets that ball back for Johnny Walker to ship it downtown. And that's a good kick there as a Kiwi feels the ball but only gets to his own 20-metre line before being tackled. Kiwi there just plays the ball, but the receiver only succeeds in getting another yard as the ball moving out now for Nottingham, but the Keighley tackles, and that's certainly the substitute, John Nicholson, who was tackled high. We're still not really sorted out between ourselves who the substitution was. We don't believe it was Greenwood who went off. But one thing is for sure, just below us we've got Wayne Race receiving the attention of the Keighley physio, Richie Coons. Looks like it could be a leg injury.
Looks like an elongated P, doesn't it?
We believe, in fact, it could be the number 11 for Nottingham, and that's Daryl Jackson who's left, according to our list anyway, which was correct 5 minutes before the game started. In fact, we are now definitely reliably informed that Jackson and Greenwood are the opposite way around, so it is Greenwood who's left the field. Having sorted that lot out, Nottingham now get back into the Keighley half. 5 metres, that's all. There's a ball coming out to this near side. It's Peter Tyers there for them. looking to find a hole in the Keighley defence, but he's wrapped up 10 metres inside their half. And that looked to be shepherding, crossing, call it what you will. But Mr. Nicholson agrees with us. The delayed pass, and here we go again, Dal. You see, this is another 10 metres. Bad discipline, really, isn't it?
Like he's going to get a card. Yes, he's giving him a yellow card. 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's a standoff. Tony Chapley has been spoken to before for chatting back to the referee, and the referee's done what he had available to him, and that he's sent him to the bin for 10 minutes. And that certainly is not going to help Nottingham's cause at all, as Johnny Walker puts this ball into touch, and my words, he's certainly doing well kicking out of his hands, Daryl, is John, this afternoon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's giving the ball a lot of air, so when the wind's taking it down, he's gaining a lot of yards with it. Good kick.
Giving Keith the opportunity to set up now then, as they're on that 10-metre line. Joe Grimmer driving into the area towards the post. Moses acting half-back, waits for the set as Appleby gets the ball out to Greg Keighley. Well, Greg Keighley almost slowed down to a standstill there. Couldn't be sure whether he was looking to lay the ball off, but I feel sure the way he's been running, he could have even torn through this Nottingham defence. Out to Appleby. Appleby spots the half gap there, but only half went for it, and went for the other one at the side of it, as Grimmer now comes in, and Grimmer's under the post, and really, Mr. Nicholson, unfortunately, has penalised Keefer there, Dan, hasn't he? As Joe Grimmer went through the gap, Mr. Nicholson just wasn't interested. He saw the offside play, didn't he?
Yes, he saw the offside, and he was going to give it. It was a bit late in blowing for it, but he was looking for the offside.
And really, I don't think Joe will be too pleased about that, but nonetheless, Keighley now still in the ascendancy as they look to get that point on. There's plenty of gaps to the left-hand side of the post now in the Nottingham defence. Quick hands across there, ships him in, and there's Martin Wood. And Darryl, you spotted that a fortnight ago, didn't you?
Yeah, we're there all the time with that gap, just the side of that post there. All they do is just get it across. Keighley had the numbers against Nottingham. We just about hope we're going to score.
Yeah, certainly they haven't looked at the way Keighley had lined up on the Nottingham defence there. They were well stacked to the right-hand side of the post, and between the left-hand post and the corner flag there'd only two players. And of course Keighley saw that, and Martin Wood had the easiest of chances there, as he was fed by Andy Ayres, put into a lovely gap, a gap so wide he couldn't believe his eyes. Looks like Wayne Race is leaving the field. Phil Stevenson it will be, I would imagine, replacing him. But he'll have to wait for this conversion attempt by John Basilou. Some 22 minutes into this first half, as he slots the two extras.
Okay, the substitution is number 14, Phil Stevenson, for number 5, Wayne Race.
Phil Ball then take up the position on the wing as Phil Stevenson drops into the centre spot. Just a bit of reshuffling there following that injury to Wayne Race. Again, it's Darren Appleby gets the ball. He feeds Steve Hall, and the big fella runs at this defence of Nottingham. 22 points to nil as Moses jumps over the prone figure of the Nottingham man there after the tackle. Again, it's Moses onto Joe Grimmer. Grimmer gets to within 10 metres of the halfway line inside that 10-metre area as Moses waits, and Grimmer goes another yard forward. And that ball again downtown, juggled a little bit. The referee, well, I don't know whether he waved play on there or in fact whether he certainly didn't wave the 10 metres off. A Kiwi looking for a gap through the centre, but he's dragged down 10 metres from the halfway line for Nottingham. Paul Sankey, the man for Nottingham in the Lincoln Green of Nottingham, tackles still within his own half as yet another man tries to get out of his own half for the Nottingham side. Substitute Nicholson succeeds in doing so, but only to see the hand of Mr. Nicholson raise for the last tackle. And that's a good kick there, well taken by John Walker. In this full-back position, he's going to attack. But he's straight into the arms of the Nottingham player, but some 30 metres from his own line. Carlton Farrell dips his way through the first tackle, gets to within 4 or 5 metres of the halfway line, continues rolling towards it as Moses switches play now to Keighley. He just gets into Nottingham half before being tackled. And it's Moses once more, this time onto Andy Ayres. Ayres to Appleby. Appleby looks through the hole, gets Andy Ayres, but Andy Ayres unable to hang on to that pass. And Nottingham can breathe a sigh of relief there, because had Andy been able to hang on to that ball, there's nothing no surer than he would have gone straight under the post. Nottingham player there on his back. Requires attention. Obviously just hurting that tackle, as I believe it was, certainly Steve Hall was one of them. I think probably Phil Stevenson the other one.
The Golden Gamble, the winning ticket will be drawn at half time, and the prize money will be £92.50. £92.50 will be drawn at half time.
And this lad of Nottingham, he hasn't moved yet. They're calling Keith's physio coming on to render assistance. Calling for the expert attention of Richie Combs there. I didn't see anything, Darrell, but certainly the way Richie's looking at him, he is not going to take much further part in this game.
No, I don't think he will, John. I think he'll have him off. I never saw it myself, I must confess. He probably landed awkward as much as anything. It looks like he has. Mr. Fullback as well, he's had a decent game.
Yeah, fullback Dean Jackson. The signal was for a stretcher, but the lad's on his feet at least. So my words, is he going to continue? Surely not. Well, it looks indeed as though he is continuing. Oh no, he isn't. The substitute has been brought to the touch judge on the far side. Dwayne Harper's Dean Jackson at least goes away from the action.
Stuart for D. Jackson.
Well, there's another change. Stuart Turton, would you believe? My sheet says Dwayne Hart. Nottingham then trying to get out of this bottom half of the field. They're facing a deficit of 22 points. And we have on the clock some 13 minutes of the first half remaining. Oh, and that's a suicide, and Martin Wood sniffed there, got the ball out in Gately, unable to pick it up. He's got to move as the man, but Joe Grimmer offers his footballing skills there, Darrell, and I don't think really Martin Wood could believe his eyes when that ball came into his hands there. Unable to get away from the tackler, but my words, how Joe Grimmer exercises footballing skills.
Yeah, nice little tap throw from Joe. And he went through and just made a little bit of room for himself. Good job Paul Moses moved, otherwise I think he's jammed him to death to get to the ball.
And again, Martin Wood there, we're seeing him with an injury. It looks like the ankle. I hope he actually travelled virtually the entire distance back from Whitehaven last week with an ice pack around his knee. But it looks like it's his ankle this time, the knee not particularly worrying him. And he's up on his feet and he's going back towards the halfway line to rejoin his colleagues. Looks in fact like Mark Brooke Cowden just warming up over the far side. Could it be just a temporary measure? As John Basilou adds the extras. Joe Grimmer, in fact, the man who has been replaced, and it'll be Mark Brooke Cowden who will come on. Well, that's got to be tactical, hasn't it? Because there's certainly nothing wrong as far as we can see with Joe Grimm, and particularly with that try.
No, it's just same as we said at Chorley, John. The switching the forwards round, giving them all half a game apiece and giving them a rest and putting them back on. Joe will be back on later on, I suspect.
Yeah, no doubt he'll be on to do his share of the running uphill as Steve Hall now takes that ball again from the kick-off after Darren Appleby had taken it on the full. Oh, nice ball out to Andy Ayres. It's Woods out there. Carlton Farrell he had John Basilou outside him, but Carlton's still going 30 metres from the Nottingham line. Struggles to get up. He gets up, plays the ball. Paul Moses onto Appleby. Appleby to Woods. Woods out there to Keighley. Keighley feeds Mark Brook-Cowden. He's going forward. He's got players outside him. Stevenson gets the ball out. And Phil Ball gets in the corner. And that was splendid handling there from Keighley. It came from one touchline across the field into the other touchline side and in at the corner. And Darryl, that really was a good try, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a good try, John. What made it better was the fact that Nottingham were always backpedaling. Once Steve Hall had driven the ball in from the kick-off, Nottingham just backpedaled. Carlton made good yardage, and it was excellent passing along the line from one wing to the other, and then he goes in the corner. Good try.
Certainly was, and as you say, the initial break made there by Steve Hall. He created the opening, a beautiful slip-out pass there to Andy Ayres, and you saw the rest. Finish up in the bottom corner, Phil Ball doing the finishing off, but a tremendous team effort there by Keighley. Right on the stroke of 30 minutes, and takes the score into the 30s. John Basilou then looks good. It is good. I believe that takes his tally to 45 now for the season, and he's creeping away from the contenders in the point scoring race on the 1st of November, and how that will please Lauren, the mascot today, as we said, beginning Lauren Naylor, 8-year-old there from Keelam School in Denholm, and her idol is John Basilou, and I'm sure she'll be absolutely over the moon so far today. Phil Stevenson trapping the ball there with his boot, calls to Darren Appleby to tell him that's his ball. Certainly the Keighley players talking to each other. Moses on to Appleby, Appleby to Steve Hall not able to get away this time though, as plays the ball to Moses, onto there to nice ball there by onto Carlton Farrell there from Greg Keighley, takes play again 30 metres from the Nottingham line as Moses onto Appleby out to Ayres delays a pass to Martin Wood does a bit of juggling but keeps hold of the ball. 10 or 11 metres now from the Nottingham line as Appleby onto Keighley, a run round with Appleby, and Johnny Walker just taking his eye off the ball, but that's a knock on both ways. In fact, Nottingham unable to take advantage of the opportunity to regather, but they will have the opportunity to get the ball from this scrum. Kevin Jones, the scrum half, to feed. He's having difficulty getting out, and Keighley could well be offside there, I think. But no, the loose forward it was who took the ball, so they couldn't be offside there. In fact, Mr. Nicholson just deciding that the scrum, well, looked as though he's saying the scrum had collapsed. Kevin Jones eventually getting away, and the scrum broken up. There's a little bit of trouble down there. There's certainly some problems in there. There's a couple of the Keighley lads in the middle, and Steve Hall trying to drag the players away. Trying to drag him away, I think, there from Paul Moses. He does a good job with Steve Hall, pulling the Nottingham players away. But certainly the scrum broke up, and Well, the touch judges are both going to have a confab about this. The referee stops the clock. Certainly I don't think Mr Nicholson saw it, and I don't know whether you saw what this start was or what the outcome was there, Darrell.
No, I saw keighley bending over somebody, whether somebody had a dink at him or not in the scrum. But somebody, he was bending over, and then next thing I know, he's having a go at him. Almost the two hookers were having a go at each other. We'll have to wait and see what the touch judges decide.
And I'm sure it will all come away from the wisdom of those three gentlemen in the centre. Keighley certainly being called out, as is one of the Nottingham players, the opposite number 8, Justin Maitland. And it's a 10-minute rest for both of them. It's a 10-minute rest for both of them. The referee's given a penalty to Nottingham, hasn't he, Darrell? But he's not really told us what it's for, has he? He's busy tying his bootlace at the moment.
I'll wait and see what he gives, Tom. He hasn't indicated anything yet. He's starting the clock. No, he ain't going to bother.
Well, that's interesting, really, because the referee's job is to indicate to the spectators and the players as well the reason why he's given the decision, and he certainly didn't tell anybody there, and I'm sure that could well be a bad mark on his assessment form at the end of the day. Nottingham then looking for the halfway line. Struggling is a Kiwi to get away from the tackle. 34 points to 0. 4 minutes on the clock, but a substantial amount of stoppage time to add. The referee there pulling Keighley back with a penalty for a tackle in the. He's given it. Well, he's given a head-high tackle. We thought he may have been offside, but he's actually given a head-high tackle in the prohibited neck and head area, and that's a good touchline finder for Nottingham, pushing Keighley back to within 15 metres of their own line from where the restart will take place. And the shoulder charge tackle, but Nottingham get within the 10-metre line. Keighley need to keep this line intact. There may be only 3 or 4 minutes on the clock, but there's certainly at least another 2 of stoppage time I would hazard a guess at prior to half-time being acclaimed. Good tackling there though by Keighley, still only 5 metres though from their own line. Don't really want to allow an well taken there by Steve Hall as the attempt of the chip over the top was taken. The big fella took it straight in his midriff. Still having difficulty getting up to play the ball as Ian Gately now surrenders to the first tackle there, but plays the ball. This is Mark Brook-Cowden. Brook-Cowden getting 30 metres from his own line before being tackled. Moses at acting half, weighing the options up behind him as he waits for the ball being played. Andy Ayres offers the ball, gets Martin Wood through the gap. It's out to Carlton Farrell. He dummies it in outside, and it's Martin Wood supporting again, unable to release the ball, but loses it in the tackle. It's a Kiwi there who's in the centre of the field. Eventually gets the ball. There's a Keighley player down there holding his arm. Darren Appleby it was who caught one. He shook it off though. He says he's okay as Keighley keep Nottingham now penned 10 metres inside their own half, and it's across then too into the centre of the field looking to offload, but the Nottingham lads, that's number 12 Donald Jackson, and the ball shipped downfield again. Johnny Walker going to have to go to that touchline side, but it's not going to go in touch. He takes it, almost knocks on, but doesn't actually lose the ball. Runs strongly through the centre. Oh, Johnny Walker's going to go and score, but he's not. He's not greedy. He's given the ball to Martin Wood. Oh, and really, what a brilliant run there by Johnny Walker. He could have gone down for the line himself, but he wasn't greedy, so he'd got Martin Wood in support. He gave Martin the ball, but really, what a brilliant run from John.
Yeah, it's a good run. Poor defence from Nottingham, but John saw the gap, went for the gap. We're determined to go through the gap, which is a big thing of determination. And once he got there, like he said, he wasn't greedy at all. Martin was in, well, he wanted support. He just called to Martin. I think Martin was asleep, but I'll worry about that later. And then he goes. Good try.
And fine then, and just inside the last minute of normal time as John Basilou looks to get Keighley on the half-time score of 40. And that certainly set the crowd alight here at Cougar Park. The buzzes around the ground, and really what a tremendous run that. As Darrell said, it was bad defence by Nottingham, but really a splendid display there by John Walker. He took the ball from the kick through well inside his own half as John Basilou converts, and he tore through the Nottingham defence as though it was non-existent. It certainly looks as though John may well have found himself a new spot in the full-back position. Certainly playing with a certain amount of, a lot of confidence this afternoon. Six tries, 8 conversions or 8 goals, and the scoreline of 40 points without reply as Nottingham restart yet again. Phil Ball this time taking it, dodging through, going through. He had Andy Ayres with him, but Andy just overrun him slightly on his outside. Plays the ball though, it's on to Stevie Hall this time. Stevie Hall looks to take on the opposition. Andy Ayres there, gets into the Nottingham half of the field. Now into stoppage time, a minute into stoppage time. Mark Buck-Cowden offloads back to Martin Wood. Martin Wood off to Appleby. Appleby through there to Walker. But he's tackled some 5 or 6 metres inside the Nottingham half as Moses waits for the play of the ball. Appleby now. Offloads to Keighley. Keighley's going for the gap. Carlton Farrell's going for the line. He's going in at the corners, Carlton Farrell, but he's in touch, my words. He should really have come inside there, should Carlton Farrell. The last couple of occasions when he's been set free, he actually has come inside. That time he decided to go for a straight line for the corner. He didn't score, and really that would have been an absolute crippler for Nottingham. A minute and a half into injury time as the scrum collapses. And Mr. Nicholson just orders a restart. Another attempt to get the ball in. 10 metres then from the Nottingham line. Ball fed, and that could well be out to Keighley, but no, it's Nottingham who have it. As Keighley will just keep these Lincoln Green lads down in their own 20-metre area, I feel now. Saying that, they get out, but the ball's gone straight into touch, has it? No, it was touched by Kiefer Ham as it went in on the attempted chip over 30 metres from the Nottingham line. And the crowd's still buzzing about the last 5 or 10 minutes or so of this half. Nottingham then coming to the centre of the field, but 32 or 33 metres from their own line. They're still trying to work the ball upfield. Nice ball out to the wing there, but he isn't going to get inside the Keighley half in spite of his wriggling. But his standoff back on the field after his 10 minutes in the sin bin. Of course, don't forget Keighley still have Greg Keighley there, but he ain't going to have many more than a couple of minutes or so in the second half with the added time added for stoppages. Now 3 minutes into stoppage time in the first half as Mr. Nicholson puts his arm up for the last tackle coming up. Tony Chappell kicks the ball down. John Basilou does well to gather that ball. Looks for the hole, goes through it. There's nobody with him in support, or nobody there to get him, because Darren Appleby, I'm sure, felt sure that John was going to get away through on his own. Steve Hall looking for the support players. Martin Wood takes it off him. Andy Ayres now going over the far side. Ian Keighley in support. He's got John Walker on his outside. Walker's coming down the inside. He falls to the tackle 10 metres from the line. But the half-time hooter goes. It prevents any further score as far as Keighley are concerned, and it just helps Nottingham to go back to the dressing room. They've conceded 6 tries in this half.
Draw will be drawn very shortly.
The tries for Keighley. We're going to have to really look through these. Andy Ayres, it was who scored the first, then Carlton Farrell. Martin Wood, he scored one, followed by one a little bit later on. We saw Joe Grimmer score the try with the football action, and we also saw Phil Ball finish off a tremendous crossfield movement, starting on the far touchline side and coming down across the field to this near touchline to score in the corner. But by far and away the best try of the half was that one, the second try of Martin Woods, created from within his own half by John Walker. And we'll leave then at half-time with the score, Keighley 40-0, Nottingham 0. Well, as the players take the field for the second half of this Division 3 Stonesbitter Championship game, Keighley leading 40 points to 0. Daryl, how on earth do you maintain this in the dressing room at half-time with the team when you're so far in front?
Tell them if they drop the standards, they don't play next week, John. But no, really, seriously, I think what they've got to do is keep a clean sheet. That's the main thing now. Keighley's got to concentrate on the defence, keep the clean sheet and look for the points when they're there. But stick to the game plan. Don't play one-man rugby. Stick to the game plan. Practice things for next week.
And certainly next week is the key test, and these players will be wanting to make sure that they are on that team sheet next week when the Keighley side travel to Lee for the Regal Trophy first round. And so they'll be keen there. Kick downtown there by the Nottingham standoff. Johnny Walker on station, takes the ball, tackled in the middle of the field. Joe Grimmer back on the field, substitute taking place for Ian Gately, and that's a good run towards the halfway line there by Phil Stevenson. Phil Ball just readjusts that ball as he takes it in the midriff area as Moses gets the ball out now to Appleby. Appleby on to Ayres, Ayres to Woods, Woods out to Carlton Farrell. He was calling for John Basilou to come inside, but Martin Woods there. Andy Ayres looking for a hole, but he's tackled and pushed back towards the halfway line. Moses onto Grimmer going through the hole there. He's got Moses inside him, and Moses, he's dragged down, but he can still go. He was thinking the referee had probably said he was held, but he could have got up and gone there. There was nobody with him as Andy Ayres now looks for the hole. Didn't get the ball out. It's the last tackle, it's the handover, but really, what on earth was Paul Moses thinking of there, Darren?
I don't know, John. I don't know. I'm a clue at all. He was looking around everybody just to see what happens now.
Almost as though he thought he'd got to get up and play the ball, but certainly there was no tackle there. He was taken to the ground, that's for sure, but there was nobody holding him. The referee hadn't called held, and that's a chip over the top as the man releases the ball in the tackle, but well picked up there over the far side of the field for Keighley. Struggling to get back into the 20-metre area is Phil Ball, but this is Phil Stevenson. The lights are on here at Cougar Park, and it looks as though it could be the start of more points for Keighley. A lovely ball there from Martin Wood out there, and it's a tremendous try there for Keighley. It's only a metre to the left-hand side of the post. Mark Cowden it is, 2.5 minutes into the second half, and that was a lovely release pass there, wasn't it, Darryl?
Yeah, it's a good pass that, John, and I like the way that Mark Buckdown went for the post. He was determined to get there. He was tackled, but stretched out and put the ball over. A good try.
Yeah, and he'll certainly have enjoyed that one too, as Keighley again go further ahead then in the second half. 44 now the score as John Basilou looks to get number 9 on the board, and that, I believe, equals the club record again. It's 11 is the actual record, I beg your pardon. 11 goals in a game, and I feel sure that that could well be one of the records that could go tumbling this afternoon. Ian Fairhurst it is who tells it's 11, so if he's wrong, he'll have to argue with the club statistician, I'm sure. But we're looking for number 9 at the moment. And there it is.
9 out of 10.
Nottingham then prepare to restart for the umpteenth time this afternoon, and we've got a clown in the stand with a whistle. And the last thing we want, but it's Carlton Fallon coming forward. And I feel that if that man with the whistle causes a problem, the referee will stop play and ask him or his whistle or both to be removed from the ground. Appleby then misses out. Greg Harley gets it onto Hall. Hall looking to offload, eventually he does do. Greg Harley now misses out. Phil Ball gets the ball out there to Phil Stevenson. Back again to Ball. Ball looking to offload inside, but he's taking his tackle. He's not been tackled though as he gets to the 20-metre line for Keighley. Applause from the crowd at the far side then as the ball comes out to Andy Ayres. Ayres sees the gap, goes for the gap, stretches his legs out this side to John Basilou. He's in at the corner for Keighley yet again. And that, well, I'm not sure, Darrell. Did John Basilou actually ground that ball, or did he just slide over on his shoulder?
Slid over, but he actually put it down. Only just inside. I thought he was going to slide dead if he put it down.
It certainly took a long time to put it down there, and it looked as though it could have been a bit iffy, but Mr. Nicholson, he was there, and his touch judge was there with him. He said it was a try, so that's taking Keighley into 50s now.
Come on, Keighley! Come on, give us 80!
Next week, the normal way.
Come on, Woody! Come on, Woody boy, let's go this way!
Well, you can see there where John's actually putting that ball down to attempt this conversion, how close he was to that touchline side before the ball was grounded. By far and away the most difficult opportunity or difficult conversion attempt he's had this afternoon. This will be a tester for him to get into double figures if ever there was one. He's certainly concentrating hard. The crowd are quiet. It looks good. It looks excellent. What a tremendous goal there by John Basilou. A tremendous goal. And Mr. O'Neill on the PA system agrees with us, and the touch judge is on the field. He's just telling the referee. Referee just, I think, probably going to have a word with somebody from Keighley, from Nottingham. In fact, somebody's got some blood on the face. He's gone over to the far side of the field, just wiped it clean. Coming back on though, Mr. Nicholson acknowledging the touch judge for giving him that information. Obviously he saw it behind the post. As Nottingham restart again. Joe Grimmer just attempting to pat the ball as Steve Hall running across the field, offloads their own. Would have done better, I think, probably of hanging on to it, but Paul Moses unable to get the ball. And Nottingham then, for one of the rare occasions, inside the Keighley half of the field, 30 metres from the Keighley line, but not going anywhere just at the moment. Paul Sankey there, tackled in the centre of the field for Nottingham. Gets the ball underway again over the far side of the field this time. And that was a knock on both ways. Well, a forward pass, I think, first of all, followed by a knock on, Darrell, was it?
Yes, forward pass first, followed by knock on. The referees give the knock on, Keighley head and ball.
Two offences, the first committed by Nottingham then as Keighley feed this scrum. Referee says the scrums, he's not happy with it. He wants it down again as Appleby then feeds the scrum again for Keighley out the back onto Andy Ayres. He brings on John Walker. John Walker looking away through, strong fella. Almost gets away from the tacklers as he gets the ball to Ayres. Ayres to Appleby, onto Martin Wood. He's going up the touchline side. He'd Phil Ball outside him, but opted to come back inside. Tackled 35 metres from the Nottingham line. Phil Ball going on his own, another 10 metres further forward before being tackled as Moses at acting half. Hall gets the ball from Keighley. He gets in that 20-metre zone before being tackled. Moses yet again waiting. Plays the ball. It's out then to Andy Ayres. Ayres goes for the hole. Gets it off to Moses. It's a forward pass though. The final pass from Andy Ayres to Paul Moses was forward. Got to agree with that decision. The crowd over there don't like it, but it certainly was forward, no doubt about it. As the PA man almost swallows his microphone with his cougar roar. Kevin James then goes round the far side of the scrum, feeds it for Nottingham. Coming out this side, is it? But no, it's collapses the scrum. Keighley unable to push Nottingham off. That scrum didn't go down properly from the Keighley point of view. And they see that the Keighley fullback has joined the line. John Basilou, it will be, takes the ball, goes up the outside. He's just going to take his tackle, but he's pushed into touch. He'd have been probably better accepting a voluntary tackle there, would John? But he was taken into touch some 5 metres inside the Nottingham half of the field. But certainly feel he'd have been better either cutting inside there, Darrell, or even accepting a voluntary tackle.
Yeah, he should have gone inside. He should have gone for the ball a bit early, John. He should have attacked the ball, and then he could have had more options. As it was, he cut his own options down by letting the ball bounce.
Well, the referee there's penalised Keighley for foot up. It was the Keighley number 8. It was Greg Keighley who struck for that ball as it entered the tunnel. The referee says it was feet across. You're not allowed to win the ball against the head these days. Ball put into touch there by number 4, Keighley. Nottingham driving the ball in. That's Maitland, there, number 8. 30 metres from the Keighley line then, 14. I'm afraid I've forgotten his name. We've got Dwayne Heap on our sheet. I didn't amend it when the substitution was made. But for sure that's Paul Sankey taking play right in the centre of the field and a metre outside the Keighley 20 area. Mr Nicholson certainly making sure everybody knows that that play's held and going no further as Nottingham get the ball out there to Darrell Jackson. Last tackle indicated now. And the ball moving across field here, and the kick forward there into no man's land. A desperation kick there because for sure it's far too heavy as that. It's a restart on the 20-metre line. Martin Wood shouting for the ball. Hoping to get a quick restart and catch Nottingham unawares. As it is, it's left to Joe Grimmer to drive some 12 metres away from that restart area. Greg Keighley now out to Carlton Farrell, looking for his winger but deciding to take the tackle, puts the ball on the floor, plays it. Moses gets it away to Ayres. Appleby going through the centre, sees the hole. He's got to support left and right. Andy Ayres struggling to get away from the players, but Appleby's going on his own. He's got the ball out there. It's a knockback, says the referee. Andy Ayres in at the corner. Finishes off John Basilou, it was, who went for the ball. He couldn't get to it. Fortunately for him, it went backwards, and Andy Ayres was backing up as ever. He scores a try, but what a good break there by Darren Appleby, Darrell.
Yes, a good break there, John. I like the way they're Nottingham fullback. 2 or 3 times now he's hit the fullback, he's got the fullback. He's just stopping the final pass. But fortunately for Keighley, they are backing up, and another good try.
He has 13 minutes then into the second half. Keighley had yet another score. 9 tries so far, 10 goals to John Basilou. This is his opportunity to level that club record of 11. I feel he may well have been put under a little bit of unnecessary pressure by the PA man after he logged his last goal by telling him that he's only 1 to go for the record. Not very helpful whether the ball's in front of the post, the conversion in front of the post, or whether it's on the touchline side. but I feel sure that John's not going to let that pressure get to him too much. There's still some 26 minutes left of the game, and whether he's successful with this one or not, certainly there should be more opportunities as the game progresses further. And that's going to the right-hand side, so it still stands there then, but that scoreline in the 50s now.
Tom Kendrick. Oh, his dad's called Tom Kendrick, his son's up here. Nearly got it right. So whatever you are, Tom, your son's here.
And Nottingham then restart. Carlton Farrell taking it on the full, going across the field, full speed. Doing very well to get yardage further forward there before being tackled, 25 metres out from his own line. Joe Grimmer just driving that ball in. Another 10 metres further towards the halfway line as Moses gets Steve Hall back in the action. Again, Appleby gets the ball out. Oh, Martin Woods unable to hang on to it. Not the best of passes from Darren Appleby there.
Come on, Keighley!
On that halfway line then, the action continues as Nottingham come forward in the shape of Peter Tyers. Paul Sankey there doing very well to hang on to that pass round by his hips. And certainly Nottingham have the numbers at the far side if they can do anything with it, but the ball thrown out more in hope than anything else. And oh dearie me, that Nottingham defender hadn't reckoned with Steve Hall coming up like a train and looking for him, and he certainly felt the weight of that tackle. Right in his mid-wrap, John Basilow's got a tackle ball. Takes the ball well though on the full. It's Carlton Farrell this time, driving at the Nottingham defender, John Nicholson. Moses onto Hall. Hall taking that. Don't particularly think he was expecting it, but got it he did, and got some good yardage as well as he went. Andy Ayres brings on Mark Brook Cowden. He offloads to Greg Keighley. Back to Andy Ayres again. A dozen metres inside the Nottingham half as Joe Grimmer takes the play on. Taken round the top of the head there, round the back of the neck. I don't think Joe Grimmer's hurt, but certainly not the best of tackles. The referee there just indicating that that's where the area was, and Greg Keighley calling up John Basilew to give him an opportunity of the extra 2 points. 1 or 2 in the crowd, not particularly happy. But I feel sure that the idea being is the record of the goals points, or the goal kicks rather, and get the pressure off his back. So then from 30 metres from those posts and a couple of metres to the right-hand side, and the wind lifting again as John Basilew attempts 18 minutes into the second half of this game to get his course to 11. Oh, and it hits the post, and who's there? Oh, and it's Paul Moses. Paul Moses, did he score? The referee says no, he's on his back, and I think Paul Moses went in off the post. But he was held up. In fact, he was over the line, but he came up like a train there, did Paul Moses, backing up that goal kick, and this is where the new rule comes in, because this is Keighley's head and feed. Held up over the line, 10-metre scrum, and the referee penalising Nottingham there, because in fact he hasn't. He's moving the scrum back to the original point, but it certainly looked to us here that the loose forward had not packed down at all. The referee in the middle of the scrum there, the ball out then to Appleby. Appleby gets it onto Ayres and run around with over there to the far side. John Walker looking for the corner flag, but he's not able to get there. He's tackled 2 or 3 metres short of the line. It's Martin Wood looking for his hat-trick, but he's held a metre short of that line on the far side. Bad play the ball there by Martin Woods. Paul Moses having to do a ferreting job there as Appleby goes through. He's going to score there, and surely that's a try. It is indeed, says the referee. The supporters behind the post there, they applaud the 10th try of Keighley this afternoon. Darren Appleby it was who scored it. And John Basilou gets another opportunity. The last one hit the post. He has the opportunity now as he's coming back, wiping the ball, getting the mud off it from that try-scoring attempt there by Darren Appleby. But the pressure really telling on Nottingham. They're just capitulating, aren't they now, Darryl?
Yes, I think they are, John. They're tiring now, and with them not playing with each other, you know, a lot of new players in the side today, you can see that they are falling apart a little bit.
Yes, indeed. Steve Hall being taken away from the action. He's done his whack. He's done 20 minutes in the second half and a full first half, bringing Ian Gately back on, his second row colleague. But let's just watch this conversion attempt then by John Basilou. It's through the middle. The crowd raise their arms. So John Basilou then adds the extras to the Darren Appleby try. He's scored now. He's now scored 11 goals this half. Oh, sorry, this game, I should say. Steve Hall leaving the action as Ian Gately comes back on. Just a little bit of indecision there over the try line as Mark Rutkowder not taking the ball, or not stopping the ball. John Basilou it was who was left, but this is Paul Moses going for the hole there at the side at the acting half. Carlton Faddle it is, waiting to take this ball. Joe Grimmer now hanging on to the ball, 22 metres from his own line as Moses once more at acting half. Greg Keighley driving that ball in, looking to create further openings for Keighley. Using the arse coming from the crowd at the far side, and I think probably this is only the first time this half. And the touch judge is on, but I didn't hear that whistle come from the referee, Darryl. Did it? In fact, I thought it was our friend in the stand, but I certainly saw the touch judge come on the field there. He's going to pull a Nottingham player out. It looks like it's number 8, Justin Maitland, who's come out. Now, if the referee's going to sin bin him, well, he can't sin bin him again, can he, Darryl? Because he's already been in it once. And Greg Keighley just coming up. But these two props have been at each other all the game. The referee's keeping him on the field, because if he'd have done anything, there is no alternative but to give him the red card, had he?
That's right, red card. But the next step, all he can do is keep giving penalties or red card.
In fact, it wasn't Justin Maitland, it was Paul Cooper, the hooker. They do both look the same with the headgear. Run round there with Moses and Keighley. This is Joe Grimmer, though, bursting forward. 15 metres gain there as Moses waits patiently at acting half. But this is Carlton Faddle taking the opposition on, striding through the tackles as he does so. 21 metres from that Nottingham line as Keighley come forward once more. Moses again switches play back inside to Ayres. There's to Gately. Gately offloads there to John Walker. He's taking play back inside, back to Ayres. There was a hole there for Andy to go through, but unable to dig his studs in to get forward. 10 metres then from that Nottingham line. A bucket of water needed there to separate the players as Joe Grimmer driving in. Oh, and the ball goes to ground, but it's knocked on by Nottingham. It's Martin Wood who gets the try. The ball going up in the air. I thought it was knocked up by Nottingham, but no, it wasn't, I don't think. It was Martin himself who did the juggling act. He gets his hat-trick this afternoon.
On the ticket number 78035. Thank you. Get the drinks in.
.66 at the moment, 11 goals, 11 tries. And this one, for our information anyway, if our information is correct, is for the club record of goals in a match and also points in a match, because John Basilou, with his last goal attempt, equalled his own record of 26. This to take it to 28. And again rewrite the Keighley record books. Still only 25 minutes of the second half gone. And that looks good. It is good, and that's the record. John Basilou raises his arms to himself. And certainly I'm sure these players on Nottingham, the Nottingham Green, will not be particularly happy with that announcement. Most goals in a match, most points in a match. And they're on the end of another hiding. And there's still another 14 and a half minutes to go in this game, so there could even be more. As they restart deep into keeper territory, taken there by Mark Buckcowden. Gets towards the 20-metre line. He's looking to offload, but Paul Moses is saying, take your tackle and I'll take the ball from you now. Ian Gately then driving up this slope, gets the ball out there. It's John Basilou, chips it forward, regathers, does he? No, he doesn't regather. Nottingham it is who regather that ball. Substitute 14 does the regathering, but that's Peter Tyers for Nottingham. Still a couple of metres inside his own half of the field. Plays the ball, switches outside. Beg your pardon, Darryl Jackson just gets into keeper territory before being tackled. He's Maitland there, gets the ball out to his scrum half. And really, Nottingham going backwards up the slope. Certainly got a nice deep line out, but there's nobody there to take. But that's a nice break over the far side. An equally good tackle by John Walker, stopping the momentum forward, bringing him to a halt some 25 metres from the keeper line in full flight there. But it's now Nottingham looking towards the centre of the field. Tackled, it's the last one this time, says the referee. Still 25 metres short of the line. That's a good high ball, but it's going to go dead, I fear. No, it's bounced and stood up. Darren Appleby just palms the ball dead. It'll be a drop out under the post, but that was a good high ball by Nottingham. Bounced the wrong way as far as Keighley were concerned. I can't honestly see that the Nottingham player would have gathered it in time to have put the ball down behind the post. But Darren Appleby not taking the risks. He did the right thing. He knocked the ball dead. And that's a good deep kick out. Almost getting to the halfway line, but straight into the Nottingham player's arms. Offloads in the tackle, but Martin Wood and Joe Grimm are there to complete the tackle of the receiver. 30 metres from the Keighley line then. Nottingham desperately trying to get some points on the board. And that's John Nicholson for them. Ball moved out. Jackson it is. Struggling away to get away from the Keighley tackle as he takes the play within 10 metres of the Keighley line. Keighley do need to keep this scoreline at 0 for them if they possibly can. Greg Keighley it is tackling scrum half Kevin Jones inside that 10-metre line, almost in front of the Keighley post, over the far side, and they've got plenty of players over there of Nottingham. Does well though to take that ball, and it's gone loose though as Keighley regather. In fact, the referee's given the forward pass. He's given a forward pass. It's a scrum down then with the head and ball to Keighley. Even though Keighley did manage to regather the ball, there's no real serious advantage to them opting to put the scrum ground 10 metres from the Keighley line with their head and feed. There's an Appleby swapping roles then as Andy Ayres puts the ball in the pack. A bit of indecision there by Keighley. Fortunately, in fact, losing the ball. No real reason why they should have swapped those positions, I don't think, as Nottingham driving for the line. In fact, almost getting there. It's a last-ditch tackle and push there by Keighley and Martin Wood, preventing the man getting over the line. And that ball coming out to this near side as far as we're concerned, and being tackled though 5 metres from the Keighley line. Ball being played out to this touchline side. The ball goes on. Carlton Farrell, one of the tacklers there, still 5 metres from the Keighley line. The crowd is hushed. They don't want to see any points for Nottingham, but Nottingham certainly do. They've got the numbers there, and they've got the players going in, but really he should have offloaded there. He gets rid eventually. It's going to be back to 1. The referee not says so. I thought a Keighley arm went up and touched that ball as either Keeby or a Kiwi going at the far side. Ball knocked backwards, says the referee. As Keighley regather the ball, then offload there, gets toward the 20-metre line and spills the ball again. Keighley do need to concentrate on this. Complacency very easy to come in as Keighley regather there again from a spill ball. And the game just getting a bit scrappy really, Darryl, for no reason.
Yeah, very scrappy, John. Neither side settling. Keighley are doing all they can to keep Nottingham out. Nottingham are getting a little bit desperate. They're trying to score, trying to prove a point. It's nice, it's just too scrappy. They want to settle down, the both sides will do a bit better.
Yeah, 68 points to 0. It's got to be difficult for players in that situation, particularly when you've got the 68 on your side to settle it. But this is where professionalism comes in. Keighley must keep going, they must keep playing rugby as they know, and they've been coached into playing as Keighley then gets almost to the halfway line. He had Andy Ayres in support but unable to offload. Greg Keighley get into the opposition territory just as Paul Moses waits at acting half to take this ball from him. Out then to Ayres. Ayres feeds Martin Wood. Martin Wood going through, looking for a hole. Sees a hole. John Basilou got to go inside. He's running around the back of his own players, dodging and weaving as he's going, but he's tackled 23, 24 metres from the Nottingham line, right in front of the post. Andy Ayres just waits acting half for him to play the ball. Darren Appleby there. He's got Ayres with him. He doesn't need him, does he? He'd have done better by giving him it, but he's over his own momentum, setting him in for the try. But really, Darren Appleby ought to have given that ball out to Andy Ayres, didn't he, Darryl?
Yes, he should, John. He should have watched Johnny walking for a start. He'd have give it out then.
Yes, I'm sure he should. 33 minutes on the clock then, and Keighley, second row, Ian Keighley just receiving attention. He's having to jog back across the field just to run off that, whatever it is, leg injury or whatever he just seems to have picked up. Keighley, of course, unable to use any more substitutions. They've used the permitted 4. There's John Basilou now then looks to convert that try by Darren Appleby. And I feel certain that after that, when he had the supporting play of Andy Ayres outside him, feel sure that there may be just one or two words said to him and say, remember your supporting player. And one or two of the crowd behind the post just jeering. A Nottingham player obviously said something to them, or they said something and he responded. But John Vasilou then for number 13, and there it is.
We'd like to thank our match sponsors today, Dave Spencer, Welding and Fabrications at Keighley. That's tremendous and on page to give us sponsorship. So don't forget, if you want any welding doing, Dave Spencer is signers behind the post up there. Tremendous worker. David Spencer, that's the match sponsor today.
74 points in without a try, and just over 5 minutes to go.
Top class live acts every Friday and Sunday, so don't forget the Snooty Fox disco party nights every Saturday.
Nottingham restart then. Carlton Paralysis, who receives the ball for Keighley, breaks out of his 20. It's almost 30 metres before being tackled. He's been just ruffled a little bit there. Mark Brook-Cowden tackled in possession there as Nottingham came up very quickly on the play of the ball. Moses switches play. Andy Ayres gets it out to Gately. Ian Gately looks for the man inside. It's Andy Ayres. Nice ball there to Greg Keighley. He juggles. Paul Moses is going. Paul Moses is going under the post almost. And at long last, Paul Moses gets a try he's deserved this afternoon. He didn't stop, he was looking for support. I think he was wondering, Darryl, whether he got enough puff to get him to the line, but he made it, didn't he?
He did in the end. I'm quite glad he scored. It's about time he scored.
And certainly the juggling act by Greg Keighley just inside the Nottingham half was enough to confuse the Nottingham defence. Greg Keighley it was who regathered the ball in the air, following the juggle. Got it out to Paul Moses, and the little fella scooted all the way to the line like a rabbit going for the hole. And certainly going to have difficulty summarising the point scores for Keighley this afternoon. Certainly Martin Woods has got 3, Darren Appleby's got a couple, as has Andy Ayres. Paul Moses, of course, got that one, but let's watch this goal attempt again to take the tally to 14. There it is, and this man's going to take some catching. As I said, Paul Moses got that one. John Vasilou, of course, John Vasilou, would you believe he's won the man of the match?
Well done the Snooty Fox, and well done Dave Spencer for the match sponsor, and now the ball sponsor is the Red Gin. You want a good fight to tell, it's called the Red Gin. The ball sponsor. Not forgetting our main sponsors who have
80 points then, as John Vasilou gets the ball again, running across the centre of the field, looking for the 20-metre line as he does so. Tackled just inside that area. Moses out there to Andy Ayres. Ayres gets it out to Phil Ball. He's struggling in the tackle, but eventually gets away from it before being brought down. Appleby then, long ball out to Carlton Farrell. He misses it, but it goes on to Vasilou. Vasilou tackled 10 metres short of the halfway line. Patiently waits for the Nottingham tacklers to get off him. Ayres gets through the hole as the Nottingham man came up looking to sort him out. That's Darren Appleby. Appleby on to Moses. Oh, Moses in for another try! Paul Moses can't believe it. It must be his birthday. It isn't often that Paul Moses scores tries. One in a match, and today he's scored 2 inside 3 or 4 minutes, Darryl, and he'll be a happy fella tonight, won't he?
Yes, he will, John. He deserves that. Good backing up there from the whole Keighley side. Once they went through the middle, they went through in numbers, and that's what we needed to see. Any one of 4 players could have scored that. Good backing.
Yes, it was good backing up, and how good it was to see somebody like a prop forward there in the middle of those backing up. Greg Keighley leading this side by example. He's had a long, hard game in the front row, as have the other two front rowers, and how nice it was to see one of his front row colleagues, Paul Moses, putting the ball down, right down underneath the middle of the uprights, under the black dot, as the Aussies say, and gives John Basilou yet another goal scoring, or goal adding opportunity. 14 tries, 14 goals. John Basilou just missed one. There we go, number 15. Well, we're in the last minute of normal time then. The score is 86-0. The hardest workman on the field this afternoon is the man operating the Keighley total. And certainly it's good ground for the match next week at Lee in the Regal Trophy. Certainly good, keep the players in good spirit for that. But nonetheless, they know they'll have a job on their hands next week. No way is it going to be as easy as this, but it certainly will put them in the right frame of mind for that game. As Nottingham yet again restart, and Carlton Farrell it is who takes the ball on his own try line, comes across, he's not scored, oh yes he has, he's had one try this afternoon. Joe Grimmer gets the ball out, he gets into the Nottingham territory, coming up this hill. The timekeepers call it a draw, or they don't call it a draw, they're calling up. There's 86 points to Keighley without reply from Nottingham. 14 tries, 15 goals. Darrell, is it possible to add any comments to the game?
No, good game, John. Keighley should be pleased with that. I hope that they take it forward to Lee next week and remember what they've done today and stick at it.
Yes indeed, and so then with that final score of 86-0, we'll say cheerio from Cougar Park, and we'll see you next week at Hilton Park.
So we're over to see you on the next door match. I'd like to say journey home, and thank you everyone for supporting today's Tremendous Show. Thank you.